it's going to start clouding over again before it starts to be a little snow this afternoon.
Yeah, it might be a real mellow one. Kind of went into a new zone to try to explore and find some new stuff, so we don't always go back to the same jumps. And we found this ridge that has great snow, and we're just gonna do some laps down it because that seems like a fun thing to do right now. That's like, oh, it's getting shady already. Curse you! I think I'm gonna be jumping into the shade. Yeah, I think it's gonna work. I've been having this problem. This is actually, I think, like the first step down I've stood on all year because it's been such like a windy and cloudy kind of season. Like our first alpine day was like a week ago, and it's March, which is crazy. So I think my judgment might be a bit skewed whether this is gonna work or not. I can't tell if it's really big, if it's gonna work. I don't know. We'll see. Backcountry, watching Absinthe live feed of them hitting Chad's Gap while we sit in some clouds. I'm pretty sure that's out of bounds. That's within 10 feet of the bear. I came from a town. Well, it used to be small when I was there, but it's sort of a small town called Kelowna in the interior of British Columbia. I don't remember seeing snowboarding for the first time or anything. I just know like my brothers were all into it. They got like snowboards for Christmas, and instantly I was just like, I need to do this. One of my brothers got a Burton Air. It was sick, like full like Craig Kelly style. Our school had like the ski program where one day a week for like a month during the wintertime, we would take a bus from school up to Big White, like the local hill. And they wouldn't let anyone snowboard if they were under like grade 7 or something, so we all had to ski. And that was when I was snowboarding too, and they still were like, no, you have to go skiing. So I used to like drop a ski and just go down like one-footed, just because I wanted to be like, I didn't want to be like two-flanker style. It was ruthless back in the day. It was like snowboarding or nothing, like you didn't want to deal with it. We didn't really have a park when I was growing up, like at the resort. So it was mostly just like side hits and whatever we could find. Like we used to like watch snowboard videos and mimic whatever we could. So like we would find like a wind lip and it would maybe be like 5 feet into like a mogul, but we'd see like Devin do something off a wind lip in a video and be like, that's a wind lip, we're gonna half cab that, because that's what he did. But yeah, like it was definitely like we didn't ride that much park at the beginning because we just didn't have access to it. But once they started riding, like building a park, it was like straight into like box riding and jumps and whatever we could do. I was always a really shy kid when I was growing up, so I didn't like talk to a lot of people. Like if there was ever like high school parties, I always felt really weird there because I just didn't talk very much. I was like kind of like intimidated by everyone. So snowboarding was like the one thing I could do like every weekend. I was like, I'm not gonna go to that party because I had the ski bus that would take me up at 5:30 in the morning to Big White. It's like, I'm just gonna go snowboard. And it's like, I'd be with my friends, but I wouldn't have to like talk too much. I just like went and did that, and it kind of like allowed me to just like have my own space and just kind of like forget everything, go and snowboard and have fun with my friends in like not an overwhelmingly social environment. I don't think I even understood the concept of being a pro at that time. It was just like everything that I saw were like these videos in these magazines, and I was just like, I just want to do this. Like I didn't understand this, like people can make a living or like people are doing this. It was just like, that looks so fun, I'm gonna go try to do as much as I can of that on snow. And then before we knew it, it was like, cool, like I got a shop sponsor, like, oh shit, okay. And it's like somebody's like filming me, like that's cool. And like it just kind of led into this like creation of like making video parts. I would say it moved pretty slow for me as far as like getting a first sponsor and like growing into whatever you would call right now is. Fortunate enough, I won that Rookie of the Year, and I was like 24 when that happened. And like I moved to Whistler when I was 17, so right there it's like, God, it's like 7 years of just like filming sandbox, like growing, like learning how to ride backcountry, how to do all this stuff, and then finally something clicked for that like Rookie of the Year, and that's kind of when it kicked off for me after all that time. all of my best friends are all like through snowboarding. Like I met Rusty, I think when I was like 14 or something like that, because he was from like the town kind of next to ours. So we used to like compete against each other when we were doing contests back in those days. And now he's like my best friend. We still get to do all the Man Boy stuff together. Like, was that 15 years later, you know? To be honest, I definitely didn't think I would still be doing this now, you know? Like every time it was like, if I got like a contract or riding for a company, like I was doing something and I'd be like, well, like, who knows, maybe I only have like 2 years, a year left of, you know, getting to go and film these video parts and being in the backcountry. Obviously, I'd always be snowboarding, but, you know, I was like, hey, maybe I'm gonna go to school, maybe I'll do this. Like, oh, like, I'm able to keep going for a bit longer. So now it's like, I've had this time of like so much time being able to do this that I'm just like shocked that I'm still able to do it. Oh, Jody, stay up there. Dude, that was a good hit. That's 2 holes in a row now. I definitely noticed that when we go out, there's a lot less people as far as like local crews and people coming here. It's not like, I would say it probably peaked what I felt was around like 09, 2010, 2011. You feel like you had like companies filming projects, you had film production companies doing it, not just like brands. You had like new up and comers that were just learning how to snowmobile. And now there's not much of that at all. We would see the weekenders come up, like the local crew from here, and last year was their first year with snowmobiles, and they're like the only ones that are kind of like really new and trying to like embrace going into the backcountry. We're not seeing anyone in the backcountry, and anyone new especially, so it's like, where does it go as we get older, you know? It's hard to say like, is that important to snowboarding, because it's such like an individual thing. Like it's important to me, 100%, like it's very important to me, and that's what I'm gonna keep doing as long as I can. But is it important to snowboarding? That's like a very individual perspective. I think it is, but somebody that, you know, is from Minnesota and like they love riding handrails, they might not agree. It's important to me because it's where like I'm the happiest. Going out in the backcountry with like your close friends and getting to see like such beautiful environments and like sunrises and sunsets, and you're getting to snowboard. Like I'm gonna miss the hell out of that if that ever stops. I'm very like aware of how lucky I am to be out there, so I think that's what makes me really enjoy being out there. It's because I know that it's like one day there might not be a chance where I get to come out here as often. So I think that kind of resonates a bit. So like I go and I'm like, enjoy it now, because one day maybe you won't be able to. The other thing that keeps me going now is a lot more exploring. Like I really enjoy kind of like looking at new areas to go, new things to ride, and just like kind of going to do something different. You know, it's like I'm guilty of going and hitting jumps I've hit before, absolutely. And but I've also like continued to make an effort to go and like try to find new jumps, and like even if I'm doing the same trick, at least it's on a totally new feature. It's a whole new experience because you have so many other variables to deal with. And it's like that's kind of like my new fun of like figuring it out.